Our teams are actively discussing how to make this happen, and today we remain
In an apparent attempt at appeasing Moscow, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says that he is no longer seeking a NATO membership, an issue that was one of Russia's stated reasons for the invasion. Speaking to an American media outlet, Zelensky also made another concession. He said that he is open to compromise on the status of two breakaway pro-Russian territories in the Donbas region that Putin recognized as independent just days before the invasion. Referring to the NATO membership, Zelensky admitted that he had cooled his expectations when it became apparent that NATO was not prepared to accept Ukraine. He said that the military alliance was afraid of a confrontation with Russia. Zelensky also said that he does not want to be president of a country that is begging for something on its knees. Well, for more on this, our correspondent Oli Barat is joining us live from Latvia, and political analyst Andreas Umland is joining us from Berlin. Thank you both for joining us at this hour. I will ask this question to both of you. What do you maybe make him easing up on his aggression? Oli, I will start with you.
Well, I think there will be further questions for the President of Ukraine in the coming days about the exact nature of those statements, exactly what he means, exactly how far he is prepared to go, and all of that will feed into further diplomacy. Of course, we have had confirmation from the Russians today that they do expect the Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to hold talks with his Ukrainian counterpart in Turkey on Thursday. That is an offer that was made by Turkish officials earlier in the week, and Moscow now appears to be saying that those talks will indeed take place. And if they do, those will be the highest level talks that we've seen between Russia and Ukraine since the conflict began. If those talks do take place, they will be likely, I'm sure, to touch on some of the issues that President Zelensky has been raising, because, as you quite rightly say, Russia has all the way through this crisis and before it been very clear that Ukraine's ambition of NATO membership was a major issue for it. The Kremlin has also been clear, heading into those talks between delegations in Belarus between Russia and Ukraine, that it wants Ukraine to recognize those breakaway regions in the east of Ukraine as independent. That was one of the conditions that the Kremlin has been setting out. So, as I say, as we expect to head into more diplomacy in the coming days, I'm sure that the comments that President Zelensky has been making to US media and in other arenas in recent days, in the last 24 hours or so, will be a focus of those talks.
Andreas, your turn. Do you agree with Oli, and could this be a sign of easing the tensions?
In a way, what we are observing today is a replay of the Minsk I and Minsk II agreements of 2014-2015, when Russia also escalated its war against Ukraine by inserting regular Russian troops into Ukrainian territory, then killing hundreds of Ukrainian soldiers, and then making Ukraine sign deals that Ukraine did not want to sign. Now we have something on a larger scale, of course, with many more victims, with much more damage done, but the principle remains the same. Russia escalates and kills a lot of people, and then demands these concessions. And perhaps Zelensky has now come to the conclusion that to drag this further on will just simply destroy. Putin will simply destroy physically more and more Ukrainian cities, kill not only hundreds but thousands and perhaps even tens of thousands of Ukrainians, and that it may now be the best of the bad choices to make these concessions.
Oli, coming back to you, what measures are being undertaken right now by the Baltic nations to avert the humanitarian or refugee crisis from worsening? And is Europe really ready to handle the surge?
Well, the Baltic nations are very concerned about the humanitarian issues that are unfolding further south in the east of Europe. Here in Latvia, for example, there is not a border with Ukraine, but there is a border with Russia. This that they will show Ukraine, but also some of those other European countries, as much support as possible. And whether Eastern Europe is ready for such large numbers is very much an open question. It is certainly aware that millions of people are going to be leaving Ukraine and will be heading into that part of the world. We heard, for example, from Moldova, which is not an EU member state, that it wants more support from the European Union, it wants more support from the United States to help deal with the numbers of people that are coming. In Brussels, there is coordination of EU member states, and you also have the United Kingdom saying that it will help